Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is possibly the cleanest way anyone ever eliminated someone from the FIDE World Cup. It is game 2 of the match, José Martínez Alcantara versus Alexei Sarana. José Martínez won the first game with the black pieces. It was a beautiful victory, the previous video. And now Alexei needs to force a win with black to force further tie breaks. It's a very short game and, like I said, an incredibly convincing one. So José Martínez with white opens with pawn to e4, and we're going into quite a lot of theory here. c5, the Sicilian defense, knight f3, knight to c6, and pawn to c3, the Alpine Sicilian. And for those of you who don't know, there are 32 players remaining in the FIDE World Cup, so after this round, 16 will remain, as that's how it usually goes. Knight f6, we have pawn to e5, all pretty standard Alpine stuff. d4, we have c captures, and now not c captures on d4, but rather bishop to c4. Making it really interesting. It's something that I actually play in a bullet game, so you know, when I see this in classical chess, no one's happier than me. Knight to b6, and now bishop back to b3. Again, my barbarian brain kicks in and has to wonder about a capture on f7. Here, unfortunately for white, it doesn't work, because after you throw in a couple of checks, let's say king g8, much better than king to e8, queen f3, threatening mate, black easily defends, and you can even mess up black's pawn structure a little bit here. Let's say captures and castles kingside. Yes, it's you know, it looks like something, but there's no finish, and black will defend and you know, start to develop, so your sacrifice doesn't really do all that much. So instead, after knight b6, we have bishop back to b3. This is the way to do it, definitely, and pawn to d6, trying to go after that e5 pawn, which is basically a bone in black's throat. E captures on d6, we have queen captures, and now castles kingside, which is usually met with bishop to e6 or bishop to f5. Sometimes pawn to e6 is played, but here Sarana plays pawn to d3. He already has a passed pawn, but it comes as at a hefty price. And here, José Martínez does not know how to punish this by heart. He spent some 20 minutes in this position, and he finds the top move recommended by the engine, knight to a3, which also means that he is hinting at maybe the knight coming to b5, maybe bishop to f4 is an idea, and it's definitely not an easy move to parry for black. We have bishop to f5, defending the passed pawn once again, and now preparing to get the rook into the game, maybe even castling queenside, as you do have 3 more moves at least before you castle kingside. Knight b5, okay, nice tempo on the queen. We have queen to d7 and the bishop to f4. Now with the threat of knight c7 check and winning that rook on a8. And it's not an easy position to play. For black, there's only one move that maybe keeps you in the game. The position is already a critical one. You have to play e5. It was not played in the game. And the e5, because, okay, if the knights get traded, then white really has no attack. But if the bishop captures, then you castle queenside. Maybe this can be some sort of a spectacular game where, you know, you somehow play as that d3 pass pawn being the star of the show. But already, if this knight from c6 moves, for example, knight a7 is checkmate. So black has so much to worry about. And if, let's say, bishop to c7 goes after the rook, you even have to play some sorcery moves like bishop to c5, let's say captures, and okay, you do have some counterplay, you sacrifice the exchange, but you do have a pass pawn on d3. For a classical game, very hard to, you know, expect that this would actually work, but okay. Unfortunately for Alexei, he does not find e5 the best move. He plays rook to c8, and now his position is dead lost, but you have to find that correct line that wins on the spot. So feel free to pause the video and win the game for José Martínez while I give you a couple of seconds. Yes, he found it, and I imagine you guys did as well, and the move is knight captures on a7. I tried to trick you into not finding it because I said the knight has to move in order to capture on a7, so hope it worked, but, you know, if not, there's no tricking you guys. And there's really no good way to handle this. The rook is attacked. If you try rook d8, then simply knight captures on c6. Doesn't matter if you capture with the pawn or with the queen, because knight e5 will come with as an attack on the queen, knight e5, and now mate in 1 is being threatened by that bishop on b3, and you can either resign or you can move the queen to f6 and then give up your queen, but this is, I mean, no way to play chess. So instead, knight captures on a7 was played, and now knight to e5 with knight captures and bishop captures on f7 always being an option. queen b5, and now the best move. Bishop captures on f7. Much better than knight captures, because this completely ruins black's king side, and there's really no move that black can play. King to d8 was played, bishop back to b3. A simple move, yet a deadly one, knight f7 being threatened. And the problem is there's no defense here. To give you an example, let's say you stop knight f7. Let's say you play bishop g6. All of a sudden, a4 attacks the queen. And what do you play? Let's say you go queen back to e8, because there really aren't all that many squares. Bishop to e6. And again, what do you play? Rook c6, you attack the bishop, queen b3. And here black really runs out of moves. There's not a useful move you can play here. If you try to give up a little bit of material to survive the attack, again, what do you play? Knight on b6 is hanging. You can play knight c8, or you can play knight 8 to c8 to maybe defend that knight. But still, pawn to a5, you kick away the knight, knight d7, and now even pawn to a6, and there's nothing you can do. Captures is coming, a7 is coming, and of course, if the pawn is captured, knight c6 is mate in 1 as the bishop covers the c7 square. So this is and this is with the best moves black for black being played. Those were engine moves. So Alexei said, all right, king to e8, hoping that maybe José Martínez will try and overreach, because there's no overreaching here. He is completely winning, but maybe he's gonna, get into a sense of false over-security and maybe blunder something. But no, after king to 8, he just repeats bishop to f7 check, king to d8, and bishop to b3. Even though he can play anything, he can play a4, g4, literally any move here is winning for white. But he goes bishop back to b3. And here, Alexei realizes that, okay, he's out of the World Cup. He might as well, save some rating points and not lose the game. He accepts the repetition. King e8, bishop f7, with check, king to d8, and bishop to b3. We have king to e8, and he was in this position on move 20 that Alexei and José Martínez agreed to a draw, or rather, it is a draw by threefold repetition. So yeah, beautifully played by José Martínez, winning in the previous game with black, and now just completely crushing him with this spectacular line. And that's why I love to see bishop c4 instead of the immediate recapture. Even though this is the main line, bishop c4, a few more moves played, and all of a sudden the position is completely crazy, and rook c8 blunders the game already on move 12. I mean, that is absolutely incredible for a player as strong as Alexei Sarana in a classical game. And yeah, José Martínez eliminating Nodirbek Abdusatov, now eliminating Alexei Sarana. Sarana also eliminated Joran Van Foreest in the previous round. So, I mean, he's playing great chess. It's just that José Martínez is playing incredible, engine-level precise chess. This is sort of a mix of 19th century chess combined with engine strength. It is what we love to see. And, playing like this, it's hard to say, still maybe too early, but with play like this against Nodirbek and against Alexei, it seems that José Martínez is trying to go all the way. Everyone is, but his moves are also saying that he is capable of that. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. He is now waiting for the winner of the Grandelius versus Hare Krishna match, and that will be who he faces next. 16 more will remain after today's round, or rather after tomorrow's tiebreaks, and then, will be 8, will be 4, and out of those 4, 3 go into the candidates tournament. So that's the game. First one we're covering from day 2 of round 4. I mean, this is spectacular. Move 12, already a lost position, not something you see very often in classical. But yeah, that only happens if you choose, crazy lines like bishop to c4 instead of c captures on d4 right away. So, be the person that plays that kind of chess. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Deepak Gangadaran, Udo Brandt, Almighty Animal Sanctuary.org, Eddie Sphere, and David Gasparian for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day. And if you also want to learn how to crush your opponents on move 12, first link in the description below, download Lotus Chess and do just that. See you soon.